What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today we got for you some exercises that we will use to help strengthen and improve durability for our athletes' knees. So we want to make sure that we're really strong with our knees, right? Able to load them, have high load tolerance, be able to handle the impact that they get out when you're playing sports. So these are some things we love to do. Hopefully you enjoy this video. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel. We post new videos every Tuesdays and Thursdays, so make sure you subscribe to catch all of them. Hope you enjoy. All right, so one thing that you're gonna notice with the first couple of exercises is a lot of them are going to involve isometric. So this is one of the best things we can do if you're having some knee flare-ups or to prevent them, right? Isometrics are fantastic for building up structural tissue, specifically the tendons when we're targeting the knees. So first thing we're gonna do is going to be a Spanish squat. So we're gonna put the bands back behind our knee. We're gonna pull out like this, and then we're just gonna squat down. We're gonna hold this. Big thing is get to that point right before pain, right? Find that point where you can squat down and you can be here, right? You don't wanna be too much in that pain, obviously. You wanna work towards it, because if I'm just standing like this, right? So get to where you can, we just hold this, okay? We can also hit some reps with it where we just squat up and down. But specifically, I really like this. This has been shown over and over to really help with knees, especially as the band is pulling you forward, having to be here, having to be strong and resist that pull. And this one actually takes us into exercise number 2. We're going a split squat iso with a band pull. So very similar to that Spanish squat, but now I'm gonna be here and I'm gonna get into a split squat. This band's gonna be pulling my knee forward. Make sure I like to keep my heel on the ground, right? I'm not trying to raise it right there. Holy shaky, right? I'm trying to keep it down. Let this band pull you. Once again, find that point of pain and go right before it. We hold this 10, 15 seconds. As it gets better, we can decrease the angle right where we get a little bit lower, increase the load, increase the time duration that we're holding it. So little things like that, but these 2 exercises are great. Number 3, we are going a knee extension iso. So these have been shown to be really good at working on the knee, especially the patellar tendon, holding that isometric position. So the biggest thing for me is I don't like everything to go completely straight, right? I like to keep that slight angle in my knee. We don't have an extension, a knee extension, but we can go makeshift. Also, if you have, I think it's called like a monkey foot, we have one of those, but just here, got the resistance bands, with some dumbbells, set yourself up, and I'm just gonna try to straighten, and I'm just gonna hold this position, okay? So I'm really firing up my quad. This one's fantastic. Having quad strength is very important, especially with the VMO, okay? So we're just gonna be here. We're gonna hold this. Honestly, if you can go upwards of like 20, 30 seconds, something like that, that would be fantastic. So this one's really great, especially if you're warming up. Isometrics are fantastic to get everything warmed up before we move on to other things. Number 4, we are going a squat wedgie, single leg RDL. So that's what we call it, at least. We got our squat wedgie right here. Honestly, anything that just angles your foot so props up your heel. And I call it a single leg RDL because I want to convey to our athletes that we're trying to push our hips back when we go, right? So essentially our foot's angled. So I'm in this position, and then I'm gonna hinge over and I'm just holding this position right here. So I'm loading it up in my glute, but I also have to be super strong to balance as my upper body is tipping forward, right? So I need to be strong through my foot, through my knee, load it up, right? I think a huge mistake that a lot of people make is they avoid loading the knee, right? We want to teach athletes how to utilize their glutes, their posterior chain, absolutely, but we also need to teach athletes how to load their knee, and their knee has to have some type of load tolerance, because no matter what, if they're out on the field, everything's happening in a really high angle, right? Especially at the knee joint. So we can try to have them, put everything in their glutes as much as possible, but there are situations when they're playing where that is not going to happen. So they have to be strong, especially in those higher up angles. So I do not avoid loading the knee. I think it is very important. Obviously you have to be specific how you do it, but something right here, and we can like push that angle. We can also get some weight, add that to it, but I'm just loading everything, loading everything up right in there, being really strong, having everything support my knee. That's the big thing as well. So this one's super cool. Number 5, We are going front on step down. So this is similar in the sense what I just spoke about, how we want to load the knee. Oftentimes you will see us doing a side on step down. So right here where we load and we go. Typically we feel that one more in our glutes, that lateral portion of the leg. For a front on step down, we're gonna be here. I'm gonna be reaching my foot forward and then I'm gonna stand. I'm not very good at these. My ankle mobility is poor. Load it, keep your heel down, and then we stand up. So that one puts a lot more load on the anterior side, which is very important for building up the knee health. If you need to elevate where you tap your heel, you totally can. That's what I typically do. The big thing though, I'll go this way for you, is I still want your heel to stay down, right? I don't want it to be here and then pushing up. Keep it down as much as you can, tap, and then bring it back up. Work on loading up here, work on having everything support. Work on your strength as your upper body, right, as your torso is over that knee, right? We're not always gonna be able to be loaded right here with our hips back a little bit. Make sure we're strong, having that knee really have to take, I don't wanna say take the brunt of the load, but make sure that we're strong and we can handle it when we're leaning or tipping or when we're just not in an optimal position. Number 6, if you can't tell by my position, we are going Nordics. Couple of things we can do. We can just go eccentric, right? So we work it pretty much all the way down, push ourselves back up. We can go eccentric to an ISO where we hold it. We can go full Nordic. But these are fantastic. Posterior chain development is crucial for knee health and knee durability. We want to be strong throughout our posterior chain because it supports our knee. It can help take off some load. The other thing that's really great about Nordics is it builds up behind the knee. And that is a very important area that we have to train. Yes, it's gonna help with strength and with being explosive, being really quick, efficient, your plyometric type of movements, but also it's great for injury reduction, building up durability, strength behind the knee, strength throughout the hamstring. One of the most important things that we have to build for our athletes. We are going, cable decel step, okay? As you'll see, we don't have any plyometrics in this video. These are all more strength exercises. So this one is going to be working on deceleration, which is something that plyometrics will be really great at if you program them accordingly and design them accordingly. But for this cable decel step, we're gonna be here. We're gonna let the cable pull us forward and then we're gonna decelerate. Once again, we only wanna work till that point of pain or right above it, right? So if it hurts to go deep, you don't need to be decelling that low, right? But we're gonna be here and we're gonna stop. And we're gonna work on that loading of the body in that sense. A lot of times people who have knee pain and to build up that durability, right? It's the forward movements that sometimes cause that pain, especially at speed. So by working on the deceleration ability to hit it here, that's gonna really build up the knee. It's gonna help strength, right? Strength around, utilization of energy as we progress it. And like I mentioned about the plyometrics, a lot of times working on deceleration at the start of a plyometric phase will help an athlete be able to elongate, right, to utilize energy, but we don't want them doing too much if it causes them pain. So hitting something like this will be a fantastic regression that will help build them up in the future. All right, last but not least, we are going a sled drag. So this one's pretty common in the world of knee health, right? Obviously ignore the fact that my sled's unloaded. It's been a long day. We're gonna be here. We're gonna make sure we go toe to heel and we're just gonna walk backwards, right? This is one of the best things we can do to build up our quad strength specifically, right? That VMO, even without any load on this thing, I feel my quads absolutely firing up. So I'm building up all of this, working on that. I'll say one of my biggest things with this stuff, know your limit. Know what hurts, know what angle hurts, what duration hurts, what load hurts, what movement hurts, regress it. We start building it up from there. We don't want to always avoid, you want to avoid things that cause immediate pain, right? But you don't want to just completely take out that exercise and never do it again. But in the terms that we're speaking, you don't want to necessarily avoid. You want to regress, You don't want to avoid the things that cause the injuries. You want to be able to implement them in a way that will protect you from the injury out on the field if we can. So hitting a sled drag is very great for building up everything surrounding the knee. And make sure you are loading the knee. Make sure you do build up that tolerance. Like I said, same thing with like shoulders, for example. You don't want to necessarily avoid. You want to build them up. You want to improve the strength, improve the durability, the tolerance that they can handle, right? So all these things are super important. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.